Welcome back to Your Money. I'm Velshi, and I'm here in Los Angeles, California this week. From the housing market to job loss to the fight for a state budget, California's been a case study for America's struggling economy. CNN's Thelma Gutierrez spoke to Californians who are trying to explain the problem and some who are affected by it every day.
California, the 8th largest economy in the world, cracking under pressure with unemployment steadily climbing, the housing market in decline, and a state budget that falls billions of dollars short of what it needs to stay afloat.
Right now, it's coming down to fear.
Fear for people like Mildred Copeland, who's 84 and still waiting tables after 34 years.
Unlike the recession in the early 90s, which was driven by the collapse of aerospace in California, employees in all sectors of the economy feel like they're at risk for their jobs.
Already, tens of thousands have lost their jobs this year. In February, unemployment in California reached 10.5% and going up.
Most of the projections get us up to somewhere around 12% between now and this time next year.
That translates to a loss of nearly 1 million jobs in the Golden State, according to several economic forecasts.
Would you like hash browns or home fries?
Bad news for Mildred. She's eager to hold on to her job.
You get to the time in your life where you think, well, you know, I can just stay back and relax a little bit and not have to worry, but it's not like that.
Especially for California homeowners, the state has the third highest foreclosure rate in the nation, with 1 in every 165 homes in foreclosure. But that's not something Mildred has to worry about. Her home is paid for.
I thank God every day.
For what?
For a job, for my home is paid for, and I don't have to worry. That's one thing I don't have to worry about.
A good thing in a state that's in a constant state of crisis. It took a record 3 months for legislators to pass a budget. The stalemate brought California to the brink of financial collapse. Mildred says she doesn't like the way it's being run.
California used to be a great place to live.
Mildred says she's optimistic the state will make a comeback. Economic forecasts predict it will, but not before 2012. Experts say the main thing that's driving California's economic crisis is the way our tax structure is based. Half of our general fund revenues come from personal tax income. So when people at the top tier start to hurt because of the stock market crash or the collapse in values of high-end real estate, the state fund revenues suffer as well. Allie.
That woman who you had in your story, the woman who had been a waitress, I almost wonder whether people who live close to the edge but don't carry a lot of debt are not as affected by this recession. They've sort of been living in that state for a while. There's not a lot of room that they've had to fall.
Allie, you're absolutely right. I think that's the lesson here. You look at somebody like Mildred. She's 84 years old. She's still waiting tables, but she's doing it to supplement her Social Security income. The most important thing here is that she has no mortgage.
Right.
She doesn't have the monkey on her back that we all have.
Right.
And so she doesn't have to worry. She feels that she's going to be able to move through this crisis because she lives simply. She was able to pay off her house, and she doesn't have the big worry that so many people out there have, which is the mortgage.
We hear a lot of people telling us about their grandparents who experienced the recession or the depression and how they learned the value of a dollar. That might be the silver lining to this thing, that we're going to have a new generation of people who understand how to stretch their money, how to stay, clear of as much debt as we've gotten ourselves into.
Absolutely, and I think that that's Mildred's point. She says you have to learn from this crisis. You have to take it into the future and learn to live within your means and make sure that you pay off that house so that you buy a house you can afford. She says that that's really the way that she's able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Thelma, you have a great way of taking these very, very complicated stories and finding people who can tell them for our audience. Thank you for that. Thelma Gutierrez.